Hi, second graders. Welcome back. I'm so glad to be with you again today. This week, we're going to work together on making change. We're going to use what we already know about subtraction to be able to solve some real-world problems with money. If you haven't watched Ms. Tingey's video yet this week about subtracting across zeros, you might want to stop this video, watch Ms. Tingey's video first, and then come back and make change with me. I'm going to start with a problem. Here's my problem. I have $1. I want to buy a Kit Kat that costs 79 cents. How much change will I get back from the clerk? And a clerk is someone who sells you things in a store. How much change will I get back from the clerk? Well, before I can begin visualizing or anything, I better understand what change is. When we're thinking about money, change is the difference between the amount you pay and the cost of what you are buying. When I think about how much I paid, which is $1, and how much the Kit Kat costs, which is 79 cents, the dollar that I pay is more than the 79 cents that the Kit Kat costs. So I'm paying too much. My change is going to be the difference between how much I paid and how much the Kit Kat really costs. Now I think I can visualize. I have $1. I want to buy a Kit Kat that costs 79 cents. How much change will I get back from the clerk? Well, I was just thinking about the dollar that I paid is more than the Kit Kat that I'm buying. To me, that sounds like a comparison word problem. The amount that I paid, $1, is my large quantity. I paid too much. The cost of the Kit Kat is 79 cents. That's my smaller quantity or my smaller amount. My change, which I don't know, is the difference between that large amount that I paid and the smaller amount that the Kit Kat actually costs. Now we probably should do some thinking about what a dollar actually is. $1 is the same thing as 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 cents. They're exactly the same amount. When I write $1, you'll notice I use a decimal point, that little dot there that you see the arrow pointing to. The job of the decimal point separates the dollars, in which case I have $1 right now, and the cents. I don't have any extra cents, no more cents. When I write 100 cents using the cents symbol, you'll notice there is no decimal point. There's no decimal point because I am talking about the whole amount of money using cents. So I'm going to solve this problem first, thinking of my $1 as 100 cents. And then I'm going to take 79 cents away to see how much money I should be getting back. Here's my 100 cents. I'm going to subtract 79 cents. That's the cost of the Kit Kat. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79 cents. That's how much the Kit Kat costs. That's what the clerk has to keep. Let's see how much money I get to keep. 10, 21 cents. 100 minus 79 is 21. I get to keep 21 cents change. So that was solving the problem thinking about $1 as 100 cents. Now I want to think about the problem as it's written in the word problem. I know 100 cents minus 79 cents is the same thing as $1 minus 79 cents. In other words, $1 minus $0 and 79 cents. When you look at how I've written the problem vertically in both examples, do you notice how I lined up my ones, tens, and hundreds places, but I also lined up my money symbols, so my cent symbols are lined up, and do you notice that I lined up my decimal points as well? So I'm really clear on I have no cents here, but I have $1 here. I have no dollars here, but I have 79 cents here. When we are writing an addition problem or a subtraction problem using decimal points, which we do when we are using the dollar symbol, we need to make sure that along with lining up our place value, we're also lining up our decimals. So now I want to solve this problem using the standard algorithm and using the dollar symbol. It was helpful to think about this problem as 100 cents minus 79 cents, but let's make sure we can also solve it using that dollar symbol. So I've rewritten my problem, $1 and no cents minus $0 and 79 cents. When we're subtracting using the standard algorithm, we always need to start in the ones place. When I look at the ones, I see my subtraction problem is 0 ones minus 9 ones. I can't do that. I can't take 9 away from 0. So normally I would regroup from my tens place. But when I look at my tens place, I see I don't have any tens either. As you saw in Ms. Tingey's video, when that happens, we need to go all the way over to the hundreds place, or when we're thinking about dollars and cents, all the way over to this $1 place. And I'm going to move that $1, which is the same thing as 100 cents or 10 groups of 10 cents, over to my tens place. That means that I won't have any dollars left in my dollar place, but now I'm going to have 10 groups of 10 in my tens place in my cents. But we don't get to start subtracting in the tens place. I still need to start subtracting in my ones place. So I'm not done regrouping because I still have 0 ones in my ones place. So we're going to do another regrouping. Now, if I regroup a group of 10 from my tens place, I'll only have 9 groups of 10, but in the ones place, now I have 10 ones. Now I can subtract. 10 ones minus 9 ones is 1 1. 9 tens minus 7 tens is 2 tens. So it's looking like that 21 cents we had when we used the cent symbol. But watch as I write 21 cents using the dollar symbol. Notice how my decimal points are lined up. I need to make sure I've got that decimal point here in 21 as well. Sorry, it's kind of messy there. It doesn't want to let me do it without kind of making it squiggly. I apologize. I have my decimal point showing that everything on this side is cents. Now I'm going to write my dollar symbol, and you can either write a 0 in the dollars place, but if you have that decimal point there, you don't actually even have to write a 0 in the dollar place. That decimal point before the 21 shows that it's 21 cents, but you do need to make sure you use the dollar symbol. Today we did some thinking about change. Remember, change is the difference between the amount you pay and the cost of what you are buying. So I paid 21 cents too much. So I need to get back 21 cents from the clerk. My change is 21 cents. When we solve different change problems, we are really solving comparison problems. The change is the difference. When we know how much money we paid and we know the amount that the object cost that we're buying, we need to subtract to find what the change or the difference is. Sometimes these word problems will tell you different parts. Maybe you'll know how much something cost and how much change you got back, and then you will need to add them together to find out how much you paid. Just because you're working with change does not mean that you're always going to add. Your tape diagram will help you identify whether you're going to add or subtract to solve for your missing number. This week, you have some additional word problems involving change that you can solve to help yourself practice both subtracting across zeros and solving change problems. Great job, and now you can solve making change word problems on your own. See you next time. Bye-bye.